guys, Charley the Plumber. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate everyone stopping back by. So today we're going to do a little different video. I'm going to uncover this old girl. This is a 1974 Jeep CJ5 that I have not had uncovered in about 3 years. This thing is getting ready to go to the doctor next week. We've got a transmission transfer case issue, but before we get talking about it, let's get this sucker uncovered and see what she looks like. I'm a little excited. Haven't seen it other than trying to peek up underneath here. Don't have any idea if the mice have gotten into it or what the story is. So we're going to pull the cover out. Let's get her done. That's exciting, guys. Last time we run this was probably one of the mud bogs that we used to go to. This is a 1974 Jeep CJ5, complete fiberglass body on it. I believe it's got a 2-inch suspension lift and it's got a 1-inch body lift. That was there before I bought it. Got 35 by 12 50-inch tires. These are BF Goodrich. Mud terrain. I probably haven't run this in so long that I'm thinking the bottom of these tires are going to be flat, so I really have to look at them when I get it off. But we're going to throw it on the trailer next week. We're going to take it up to the mechanic. I have a mechanic that works on a lot of my vehicles. I'm getting to the point where I don't really work on them myself because I want to have it done properly and correctly. So what we got going on here, guys, is when this vehicle was built in '74, they put a what they call a Dana T15 transmission in it. So I've been very happy with the T15 transmission. The problem is these things have been outdated for, well, this vehicle is 48 years old this year. So with it being 48 years old, obviously the T15 is long gone. So when I talked to my mechanic up there, I asked him, hey, do you guys happen to know of someone that has a T18, which is also outdated, but it's more readily as far as parts go. The T15 transmission has been rebuilt once. I chased across the state to get one off of someone. I brought it back here and the parts that were in it. There's a fork in there that gets wore. And when it gets wore, when you put it into gear, it doesn't want it to hook in there and drive them gears inside. So rather than trying to rebuild this one, I've looked all over the nation and I can't find a T15 rebuild. Otherwise, I would have put a T15 in here in a heartbeat. So I have talked to them. They have located a T18, which they said is practically brand new. Not sure what practically brand new is, guys. I trust them with all my money, and they have said that this T18 is like showroom. I guess they pulled it out and they put an automatic into the Jeep they had, so that's why we went with the T18. While I was at it, we're going to do the Dana 20 transfer case as well. Basically up top here, I've got some sprayers that I bought from Tractor Supply, and I've got a piece of copper going across here because obviously I am a plumber. And when you get into a mud bog in the back here, I've got a tank that I bought from Tractor as well with just a toggle switch. So it had a battery back there. So when you're out mudding, obviously you can't get enough water out of the sprayers most of the time. And actually I don't even think I have sprayers on this thing. So I would turn on that tank and that water would kind of rush over top of the mud where you could see it. So that was kind of nice. I had a friend of mine, and he went through and he took this fiberglass body, he completely cleaned it up, he sanded it, and he did a fantastic candy apple red paint job on it. That goes back to 2012, the restoration started on it. In the process of that, got the nice red paint job. Doesn't look red right now, it's full of dust. But we also had, I have a friend of mine that was a NHRA welder. So he TIG welded me a roll cage that basically goes through the whole Jeep. It's got the high spot here because I'm 6'2", when you get in these seats, obviously we needed to raise the seats up. These seats are actually not mounted to the fiberglass base. They're actually attached to the roll cage itself. So this is all the tubing that he would use. The welding is absolutely fantastic. Got the old shit bar inside here. Obviously you got to have that. It has a Dana 30 axles on the front. It's got the 44 axles on the back. Trying to hit all the highlights, guys. We rewired this whole thing back in probably 14, 15, 16. Myself and my son went through and we put a brand new wiring harness. We bought a lot of the parts from Summit Racing. Kept the old headlights, obviously the CJ round headlights. We did put new tail lights on the back. Rewired all that stuff. Put the turn signal on because didn't have that. Turn signals from Summit Racing. And I had to go back through some of my records because, boy, it's been a long time, but this is all near and dear to my heart. Got a new dashboard in here with all new gauges, so we rewired all that stuff. And I'm an electrical tape guy, so when we had that wiring harness, I'd wrap that electrical tape around it, and my son would come through and he'd say, no, no, no. He'd take all that electrical tape off. We bought the tubing that went over the wires. He zip tied everything. So everything looks really darn nice. We had an old push bar on the front. We've since pulled that off. That may or may not go back on. Not sure what's going to happen with that. Trying to give you some highlights. So here's the steps. So what I did was I actually put some Reese hitches underneath here. I bolted the Reese hitches to the frame with the female tube stock, and then I've just got some drop downs on here so that you can get up on here and you can crawl inside. It's kind of nice because obviously it keeps the thing up off of the ground, but if you do get in some high spots, with this being such a short wheelbase, they do actually drag on occasions. The tires are practically brand new, but like I say, they haven't been running so long. I don't know what they really look like on the bottom side, so I don't have the bar to hold up the hood, so you got to be careful with that. I lean it back on the windshield. Basically, it's got an old 360 motor in it. Motor has been rebuilt. It does go like crazy, guys. It's a very quick Jeep. It's very light. Probably what I'm going to do is when I send it to the mechanic, they're going to do a battery. They're going to do the transfer case, transmission in their new T18. I'm going to have them go through it. As far as the wiring goes, I haven't looked at any of that. With this being a new harness, it may or may not have different oils in it. From my understanding, the older harnesses with the old oils, the mice never got into, but the new oils, they want to chew the coating off of there. Ranchero shocks on here, new radiator in here, new power steering pump, still got a leak on that. Went through all the brake lines when I originally brought it back. Went through the fuel lines, new fuel tank. The guy that built the roll cage actually built me a fuel tank as well because we couldn't get one inside there with the straps, so we got new straps on there. We've got the new fuel tank on there. Trying to think, guys, new seats in it. We got the two front seats. I do have a back seat in here. Have never put the back seat in here because obviously I never transported anyone. We'll carry you over, get you guys a good look on the inside as well. So here's that water tank I was talking about. Basically I bought this from Home Depot. I just got the hose run up off to the side, and then that goes up and it sprays into these sprayers here. And these sprayers just got two nozzles and they come down on top of the windshield. Roll cage here, you check out them welds there, it's pretty darn good, man. This roll cage was spray painted and it was high gloss once upon a time, not so much anymore. Hopefully you can see where the seats are mounted actually to the roll cage here. On both sides they're mounted back here. There's not a lot of room in these old CJs. All fiberglass body. I'm not even sure if the guy's around anymore, but I got this from Double D Fabrication. I actually found a guy online, and basically what he did was he would customize anything you wanted. So we got the angled gauges on here, and he was able to put all the stuff on. I do have the manual choke on here to open up that carb, the temperature gauge, oil gauge, fuel gauge, which doesn't work, and then the voltage meter. I kind of like the CJ stuff over there. It's got a little grate there. That's actually for speakers. And you would mount your speaker up to the front of there, and then you would have, the speaker would come out through the CJ thing. And then you can see the hose running up here. I got a valve on here, that way I could shut it off, because once this thing goes, I was keeping the tank pressurized, and then when I needed to have it turned on, I just reach up, open this valve up, give it a little shot of water, and then slam this thing back shut. That way I wasn't monkeying around with that switch all the time. New mirrors on it, put them mirrors on when we got it, but anyway, I think it's a pretty cool vehicle. A couple of D-ring tow hooks on there, but so we're going to get her up to the doctor next week, get her tuned up. Hopefully we'll be able to kick around and show you guys what goes on with it and all that fun stuff. I'll show you the motor. It's pretty much cut and dry. Got a few wires floating around in here, not sure what they are anymore, but that's what the mechanic's for. My days of wrenching on vehicles are pretty much getting to be gone by the wayside. Super excited to get her going back again. If you're a Jeeper, you know that you're always going to be a Jeep guy. Got myself a 75 Jeep J20 pickup that's going to be redone here soon as well. So it's good to have everyone. Jeep community always stays together. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, share it with your friends. Hey, check out this guy, Charley the Plumber. He's all right. Does a little bit of hunting and outdoor adventures and all kinds of other fun stuff. So if you like it, hit the like button, thumbs up. Don't forget Facebook, Charley the Plumber, Instagram. Check out the people from Small Town Laser Creations. My kid and my daughter-in-law, they do the signs and do the production for Charley the Plumber. So appreciate everyone stopping by. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.